Hi, welcome back. Today, this is Wan Lin, La Princesse des Beaux-Arts, coming to you from Aswan, Egypt. That's the Nile River. And I'm inspired to share with you my take on what the very common life advice, just be yourself, actually means. We hear this all the time, just be yourself, just be yourself. But it can actually piss us off because a lot of the time when we actually try to be ourselves, do what we really want, we get these negative results, right? Seemingly. You decide to finally say no. You decide to do what you actually want to do instead of what you think you should do. And the issue is, a lot of these seemingly negative results from being authentic, from doing what you truly want, and embodying who you really consider your authentic self to be, a lot of those negative results are not the problem. They're actually very good. Think of it this way. A big part of authenticity, the very beginning stages, is literally shaking the wheat from the chaff. When you're harvesting, you want to get rid of those weeds. You want to get rid of the stuff you can't eat, right? So when you're going through this sort of superficial loss, it can seem very daunting, but a lot of us confuse that, the relationships that change, the places where you're living, if you're changing countries. A lot of these challenges, we take them personally as signs that just being yourself doesn't actually work, when in the long term, that's the only way. Because the further you go down the wrong road with your inauthentic self, the further you'll have to pull back when a day comes where you realize eventually that you can no longer support a fake life. Now, the challenge with just being yourself is every human being, we are like a unique geometric pattern. So we are literally all special snowflakes in this sense. Your genetic code, your soul, your spirit will never be recreated. You're unique in that sense, absolutely. The way I see as a psychic is every human being has a unique soul resonance, a frequency, a sound, which if you put it in a resonator with sand, it shows us a unique geometric pattern, just like a snowflake. So each human being, we're like this unique sound, right, in this symphony of the world. And the more you force yourself to adhere and make decisions based off what you think other people want for you, or by listening to other people's advice and ignoring your own instincts, the more you go against your natural intuitions and inclinations, those become sort of asymmetrical mutations in your soul's frequency resonance or geometric pattern. It becomes asymmetrical, it becomes distorted. And then a lot of people get sick, a lot of people get depressed and unhappy because you've drifted so far away from your natural pattern, if you want to think of it as a sound, if you want to think of it as a frequency or a geometric image. In whatever way you want to think about it, when you stray too far from your natural inclinations, it becomes asymmetrical. You get off the path, you get distorted. And then a lot of us go through this phase where we're stuck between what we think we should want, what other people want for us. Because oftentimes, listen, a lot of parents, they're trying to live through their children, right? A lot of people are living to make other people happy without considering themselves first. And when you're being authentic, the first step is really to take an inventory of what's not working and what is working, and how much of your desires, they actually come from you, they're actually yours, or they were programmed into you. For example, do you want to go to a certain school or have a certain job/occupation because that is the most aligned with your set of skills, with your inclinations and interests? And in that sense, you can benefit the world in the best way. are those your motivations, or are you simply motivated because your parents told you to do this, or you think this is the only way I can receive respect from others to have this title, to have this position, so then I will do that, and then people will respect me, and then people will love me, and then, I don't know, women or men will admire me. When you go off that system of thinking, is it truly aligned with who you are and what you want for yourself? Because what you truly want might not fit into that ideal that's sort of pre-made for you. And a lot of the times, the thing is, when you do, even if you do force yourself, which on a spiritual and physical level is unhealthy. Like, you don't have to be a genius to figure out why that's unhealthy. When you force yourself to do things that you're not naturally directed to, and this is different, okay, from the dedication and sacrifice and devotion of pursuing something you really care for. It's not meant to be an easy road. If you're always trying to avoid pain, that's not a good sign, right? But I'm not talking about this sort of pain avoidance. I'm not talking about like not having dedication or hard work for what you truly want. What I'm saying is, when you do force yourself to go down a different path than what your soul or your natural interests, skills, and inclinations go towards, that is a sort of booby trap, because you are also stealing from the world. Not only is this harmful to yourself, it's also harmful to the world, in the sense that, think of the world as an ecosystem, right? Because human beings, no matter how much we try to conquer or separate ourselves from nature, we're all part of nature and an extension of that. So we operate in our social settings and our country's environments in similar patterns in nature, right? When you force yourself against what you're naturally meant to do, you are actually taking the place of someone else who would have been better at that, and you are harming yourself, and by extension harming others, when you do not go down the path and do things, become someone, and perform, create whatever you truly want, desire for the world, and are most skilled at. You are stealing from the people who have potentially benefited, including yourself, from you following that path. So you might think that forcing yourself to do something that other people told you, or you gleaned from your community that would be good for you, like going down a certain occupation, living in a certain place, having a certain lifestyle, programming that into yourself and accepting that this is how it has to be or else I can't be happy. Even the notion that people, when they say they want a big amount of money, that is actually a cop-out, because what they want is the freedom, power, and the ability to like do what they really want and have security, not always be drained and worried about living, basically. So through the filter of our human awareness and how we know the world to be in the present, money is just sort of like the cop-out, straight, direct answer, which is very valid. But think on a deeper level. This is the suggestion for you to think on a deeper level about, what do you truly care about? Because what you truly care about and are passionate about, which you need to consider like a combination of what you're passionate about, what your skill sets align with, and holistically, those clues show you where you can be the most fulfilled and helpful to the world and enjoy the most for yourself. So when you take the holistic approach to considering what do you truly want for yourself and who are you meant to be, you're a lot better off, because then you can finally trust your internal drive. You can trust your intuition, your natural inclinations, and that will lead you down and support you beyond what you could imagine from just getting external advice. Asking people, should I do this? Should I do that? Asking external authorities on what's good, what's not, what's best for me. Only you know what's best for you, okay? And your body and soul know the answer to, I would say, everything. When you want life advice, like, no one can guide you like you. But in order to do that, in order to have this almost supernatural sense and mastery of you being you, it takes that deep knowing that leans into this concept of just be yourself. When you embody this authenticity of just being yourself, a lot of people might find you to be too much. If you're dating, someone could tell you, you are just too much. Have you ever thought about you're not too much, you're with the wrong person. If you're living in a community or place that you thought all your life, this is where you want to be, and red flags start showing, you realize, I'm working against the current by staying here. Ask yourself, what is that I truly want? And am I limiting myself by thinking I can only get it here? Because maybe you're with people with their concept of money saying, I just want $1 million, don't ask me unlimited money. Maybe you're limiting yourself in the idea of what it would take and where you can be in order to have that feeling state that you want. Because what you want is the feeling state, right? And all the external factors, you take them as the prerequisites to obtain that feeling state. Now, when you act in the most authentic way and learn to truly understand yourself and start discerning what are truly your passions and preoccupations and motivators, when you start discerning that from the sunset's so pretty, I'm going to focus on it for you. When you start discerning that from what other people have imposed on you, this discernment, this trust in yourself is the golden ingredient, really, to having an internal navigation system to lead you in the right sense. And this takes curating, this takes discernment, this takes a look to your inward self, your internal world. Because all of this outside is a projection. It's a result of all that you've got going on in here, which translates through the movements of your hands, through the words you speak, to the places you go and the people you frequent, and then it translates into an external world. And I don't want you to limit yourself with the notions of what other people want for you or what you think society wants for you. That feeling state, that harmonious fulfillment, that embodiment of a person, of a being, of a creative being, which all humans are, that ideal state of fulfillment and creation, there is a place where only you can go and take in this world. And a lot of people are fighting over a limited number of seats that don't even have their name on them, that were just pre-made. And you're struggling and pushing yourself and fighting for a seat that wasn't even made for you, just because you think that's what will make you happy, or you think that's what would make other people happy, because a lot of people don't even live for themselves. So whenever you're faced in a situation or you feel like just being yourself hasn't ever worked. Look, the sun is setting now. Now it's behind the hills and the sky's pink and blue. It's so pretty. But any situation where you didn't get what you want, you were feeling authentic, you were doing something that you naturally were inclined to do and you didn't get what you want. When you start posting what you really care about and you start losing followers, That's actually a great thing. Don't be scared of that. That is a sign you are realigning to that most authentic self. That is what just be yourself means. Not censoring yourself with like beyond the regulations of consideration, right? Politeness, whatever. But even if you're going to be blatantly offensive, if that's who you're meant to be on this earth, you can have a great life just from being like a horrible person. Because some people, like in the natural sphere of nature, in different biomes, you have predators, you have parasites, you have all sorts. Like there's a place for everyone. Got that? And a lot of people have these extraordinary lives from doing and being, having personalities that you're just like, what? How? So why do you not think there isn't a place for you? There is a place in this ecosystem we call Earth. Whatever, or if you want to replace Earth with your country, your community, your wherever you want to live, there is a place with your name on it. And the key to finding that place with your name on it, that isn't for anyone else, right? Unless if you just willingly give it up, give it away, and just like say, okay, I can't do it. You give up. The way there to that place with your name on it, that seat with your name reserved, is to just be yourself. Get rid of all the asymmetrical little mutations and noise in that beautiful frequency, that sound that you are, that only you have in your soul. Purify that and amplify it. Increase the amplitude, increase the volume. Let it ring throughout the world, and who's meant to be with you and whatever is meant to happen for you shall come. That's it for today. I love you all so much. I hope you enjoyed the sunset here in Aswan. You can find me on Instagram under La Princesse des Beaux-Arts, or call me in the link below. I'll see you very soon, okay? Bye!